Hello, I'm Bishop Philip, I'm the Bishop of Burnley. I'm not going to tell you how old I am today, but here's a picture of me when I was 12. Now I wonder what you think when you see that picture. You probably think, what a perfect boy. He must be so well behaved, butter wouldn't melt in his mouth, he must be a fabulous musician and a wonderful pious Christian. Well, you'd be wrong on almost every point. When I was that age, I was awful. The only reason I joined that choir was because of the money. I found out that they paid the boys to sing on services and sing in weddings, and money was something I was very interested in, so I went along. It was also a place of escape. When I was 9 or 10, my mum and dad split up, so home was quite a tough place to be for some years. And so it was a good place to get away from it all, to be with adults who'd listen to you, but also to be in a place where you could really muck around. And we did some really awful stuff. We used to water bomb the brownies. We used to snowball the congregation as they arrived for evensong. We used to hide all the kneelers. We used to make the vicar's life a misery. And it was all a laugh, because at church no one can tell you off. And one thing that really didn't matter when I was that kind of age was faith. I remember once sitting in the stalls listening to some old man preach a great big long boring sermon thinking, what a lot of tosh. What is that man going on about? That is rubbish. But then two things came along that made a big difference. One was a person, the other was a book. The person was a new curate, a man called Robert, who turned up in that parish, who was immensely good fun, who made us laugh a lot, who had a real love for young people. And he started a youth group in which he began to talk about the Christian faith in a way that made sense to me as a teenager. You see, until that moment, I think I'd thought about the gospel as basically a great big behaviour management strategy, just another way of trying to get me to be good. But he said, no, that's not what it's about. Being a Christian is about living your life in relationship with Jesus Christ. And I said, but don't be daft. How can I live my life in relationship with Jesus Christ when he died 2,000 years ago? And he said, no, he's still alive. He rose again, and through the Spirit, you can know him. You can be in contemporary friendship with him. And through that friendship, you'll find forgiveness, you'll find freedom, you'll find release, and all that's preventing you from being the person God wants you to be. You'll find a new life in him. And that made sense. And I suppose that kind of age, I became a Christian. But also, when you become a Christian, you need to start asking another set of questions, which is, what does God want me to do with my life? And that's where the book comes into it, a book called Faith in the City. That book was written at a time when life was really hard for many urban areas and outer estates, rather like it is today. And it called on young people to give their lives in ministry to those inner city areas and churches. And that was something that just really made me feel excited. So when I was about 18 or 19, I began to explore being ordained. I became a priest when I was about 25, and I spent most of my ministry working in that kind of parish and finding incredible reward in it. I was with a boy at a youth event the other day, and he said very articulately, just 12 years old, he said, if I didn't have Jesus in my life, it would be as if half of my heart was ripped out. And I know exactly what that boy means. For me, life would make no sense without Jesus being right at the centre of it. It's because of Jesus that I found a purpose in my life, that I found direction. So for me, it was a person and a book that brought me to faith. I wonder what it might be for you. I hope that you can make the time and the space to ask those kind of questions that I was asking. What's life for? What's your purpose? And I hope you can begin to find answers to some of those questions in relationship with Jesus Christ, because that's a relationship is one that can bring us the most wonderful joy.